Okay. We are streaming. We need to check the audio real quick to make sure that you're not doubling up like you did last time, Joe. So if you want to tell everybody, hey, and welcome.
Hey, everybody, we're back. I know that you're all very excited for this since I won the last series of questions, and Corey's just very excited to be here as well. He's going to tune in any moment and just rebut what I say, but it'll be all right.
Okay, we're good. All right. It took me a minute because there was a little delay, but we're good. So we are good. So, hey, welcome, everybody. This video's officially starting now. Joe was just rambling. He didn't, whatever he said, I weren't listening really. I just listened to his audio, so I'm sure it weren't important. But yes, he's fully dressed today. I know you aren't used to that, so it might give him an advantage that he normally doesn't have, but I doubt it.
We'll see. The
So, Joe,
audience.
what did you say? Anything important for real?
Oh, no. I was just saying that I'm happy for everybody to be back, especially after, voting for me 2 out of the 3 last questions. It was great.
Oh, 2 out of 3. Okay, I would say you won one for sure, Toby Maguire. I won. What was the other question? I don't know. I won it though. And then the moon question, that was a split. There is no way.
Yeah, it's not a split.
The fact that it was even as close as it was is embarrassing for you. Okay.
It's not embarrassing for me. It's embarrassing for all the people that you're trying to get to wear tinfoil hats, but we'll go.
Okay, whatever. I'm just saying. Did we land on the moon? I don't know. Elon will tell us pretty soon on Twitter, I'm sure. But anyway. All right. So today, Joe, we are going to be celebrating you and all the other sidekicks out there.
Haven't you?
So on the line, just so y'all know, we are talking about sidekicks. We're going to do the best superhero sidekick, because usually we think sidekicks, you think superheroes. We're also going to do the best animated film sidekick, and then we're going to do the best live action film sidekick. So that could be anybody that's not a superhero that's a sidekick. So those are the 3 we're going to do. But what me and Joe have added on extra little stipulation here is that whoever loses these 3 questions will be forever known as the sidekick of this group. Okay, so Joe, go ahead and get out your red tights because you will be the Robin to my Batman. Okay.
Oh, my.
All right, so Joe, I'm gonna go first on the first one. Okay, which is the first question is best superhero sidekick. So I'll go first, so you can go second, okay? So my pick for the best superhero sidekick is Groot. Now, if you're not familiar with Groot, Groot is a tree-like creature who has tremendous strength. He's very loyal. He's very honest. He does whatever he's required to do, and he is a great choice for the best superhero sidekick. So, Joe, I'll let you go ahead and tell yours before I get into my argument of why he's the best, okay?
Sure. Okay, so my best superhero sidekick, I'm going to keep it in the MCU as well, is going to be Sam Wilson, a.k.a. the Falcon, to Chris Evans' Captain America. And I guess I'll let you go ahead with your argument before I explain mine then.
Let me tell you why Groot is the best sidekick. Because what is a sidekick, Joe? You know, because you're one of them. A sidekick complements the main protagonist, okay, the main characters, or in this case, its partner in crime, okay, because there's always somebody who usually does most of the stuff, who's the brains, but that sidekick, they come in and they provide just enough assistance. Well, who is Groot's sidekick to? Rocket Raccoon. What is Raccoon? He's a short, little raccoon-type creature who's very smart, very clever, but also has a very big mouth. Okay, gets him in trouble. And he needs somebody strong who can protect him. That is what Groot does. Also, Groot, very calm and collected. He doesn't say but one thing. I am Groot. He says it all kinds of different ways and it means different things, but he says one thing. So he is the opposite of Rocket Raccoon. That's what makes him such a good sidekick. Because yes, they agree on the stuff they fight, but they're yin and yang. They complement each other. So they have this great chemistry. They have the loudmouth little devil that gets them in all trouble, and big old strong Groot, he gets them out. That's why he's the best. And I'll give you some more in a minute because I know you're going to have something to say about Falcon. So go ahead and let's hear about why Falcon is the best sidekick.
Oh, no. I'll make that short and sweet. But to your point, several issues there. I mean, first of all, you're arguing just for the first movie, as I understand it, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 1.
I'll talk about all the Groots. You'd have all the Falcons.
All the Groots. Well, there's two different Groots because the first Groot dies, and then the new Groot is not the same Groot.
He's not that.
The same Groot.
He has a little bit of him left, and he regrows, okay? He doesn't die. It's the same Groot.
Other thing you said was Groot only says one thing. He says many things in his language, as Thor points out later on in the saga, so that's a little bit incorrect as well. But, you know.
Ability to be a sidekick. Go ahead, continue.
I'm just saying, you said he only says one thing. He says many things through the same few words. People communicate differently, and Thor lets us know that. He took it as an elective on Asgard.
Oh, okay.
Go look it up.
Do you want to talk about your hero at any point here, your sidekick?
Oh, sure. I was just, rebuttaling your debate. Anyways, my hero is Sam Wilson, and if I had to pick a specific movie, it would be Captain America Winter Soldier. Sam Wilson, there's a bunch of iconic scenes in this one for a sidekick. He meets him running around the reflecting pool in D.C., on your left, on your left, on your left, and then he brings a lot of the table for Chris Evans, not only in the sidekick aspect, but just as a compliment to his personality. And eventually, in the film's final act, he was instrumental in taking down the helicarriers as well as fighting Crossbones. Really cool human that's non-amplified other than through technology, not some kind of super soldier like Captain America. But Sam Wilson, and then eventually he develops into Captain America himself after this whole saga, since we're doing all of this character. But just watching his arc through all the movies, I really do feel that he complements him, and that's why eventually in Endgame 2, he's given the shield of Captain America.
Okay, first off, the movie's not called Endgame 2, it's just called Endgame, which is part 2 of the Infinity Saga. But anyway, I understood what you meant, Joe. I won't get into details, okay, about that. All right, anyway, Joe, listen, let me ask you a question. This is the one, Sam, that's the one played by Don Cheadle?
No, that would be War Machine.
Oh, I get them mixed up. I can't keep those guys apart. They're all mixed together. All those little loose players on that Marvel side. I get them mixed up. Is it War Machine or is it? Wait a second. Wait, there's something else about Sam Wilson.
Well, that is a poor choice of.
I'm just saying, Jay, I don't remember him. Okay, is that the Ant-Man? Is that Paul Rudd?
Don't try and make up for what you just did, but go ahead.
Anyway, Joe, tell me something. That little gadget that he has, that he flies around, the little drone.
Red Wing?
Yeah, Red Wing. What is that? What is that?
It's a technological gadget that goes with his suit.
Well, in the comics, that's his sidekick. So how can a sidekick have a sidekick?
Corey, we're talking about those movies.
How can a sidekick have a sidekick, Joe?
Well, you're bringing up animated stuff, and we're doing animated next, but nice try.
Let me tell you why my pick's better, okay? Because Sam Wilson, he is a good character. I do like him. He's funny. All right, on your left, that great callback in Endgame, like you said, when he comes out of the portal and it says Cap on your left, and he's been vanished for all those years. I mean, it was a material moment. Okay, good stuff. Okay, but what has he really done to help in the actual fights? Okay,
he literally took down a whole helicarrier by himself, lifting Cap up to the other helicarrier so he could come to terms with Bucky up there and help, and then fought.
So they could have a conversation, so they could talk it out. Oh man, he's such a good. All right, anyway,
millions would have died without him on that day in DC.
They would have never made it to the point that they were at if it weren't for one character, and that man's name is Groot. Okay, Groot.
Even if all the that fight. Wasn't even involved in that.
No, it would have never got to that point if he wouldn't have got the stone. I don't know which one it was, the blue one, the Power Stone or whatever, Space Stone. Which one is it that the Guardians had? Anyway, that stone. He sacrifices his whole life. He wraps himself around his whole team. Because not only is he Rocket Raccoon's number one sidekick, but he's the sidekick for all the Guardians. He helps them out. He is there, and he sacrifices his whole life. And that's how we got little tiny baby Groot, okay? And baby Groot grows up. He does a great job of bringing us some comic relief in Guardians 2 as he dances around the stage. All right, but then, it doesn't end there. You think, this is a different Groot. Okay, it's not, because he's got the same heart. Okay, he's got the same heart. Because what does he do in Endgame when Thor is trying to make Stormbreaker and they don't have a piece of wood to stick into the axe? What does he do? He throws out his arm, Joe. He puts his arm around that scalding hot piece of Stormbreaker, and he cuts off his own twig arm so that it can be regenerated. So technically, not only is he the greatest sidekick to Rocket Raccoon and the Guardians, but now he's the greatest sidekick to Thor, because he is Thor's right hand as he holds Stormbreaker. So Groot, more entertaining, funnier, stronger. Maybe not faster. He's kind of slow. But he is the superhero sidekick that we all need. Another problem with Sam is that a good sidekick complements but never surpasses their leader. Okay? Good sidekick. He picks up the mantle and becomes Captain America.
That's because he retires. That doesn't make him that Captain America. And he explains that if you go watch Falcon and the Winter Soldier when he
what did Cap tell him at the end? It should have been you all along, or something like that. Anyway, the point is, my pick's right. We want to know what you think at home. Who's the better sidekick? Who would you rather have on your team?
Hey, Corey, you just got a 5-minute ramble on all that. So let me just leave it at this.
Okay.
Earlier you were like, oh, well, how can a sidekick have a sidekick? And you were trying to make this hard comparison to Red Wing. So let me say this. Every single one of the Guardians are essentially a sidekick to Peter Quill or Star-Lord. But Rocket Raccoon definitely is for the first movie. And Groot, if you're arguing, is his sidekick, that's the same thing.
No. That's the complete opposite. That's not arguing for Rocket Raccoon as Peter Quill's sidekick when Groot is Rocket Raccoon's sidekick. So I see what you're trying to do there, Joe, but that's called a slippery slope, okay? You've been watching too much of that Johnny Depp trial. I don't know what's going on there, right? Anyway, but all I'm asking the people at home is this.
Is to ignore everything you just said because there's so many plot holes in it, but it's okay.
Who would you rather have as your sidekick? Groot or the Falcon?
Are you ready for question 2?
I'm ready for question 2, Joe. You'll get to go first on this one, okay? So let us know what you said. Make sure you share this video too. So question number 2. What is the best animated sidekick? And go ahead, Joe.
Best animated sidekick has to be hands down Patrick Star. Patrick Star, ladies and gentlemen, to SpongeBob SquarePants. It's been running for over 2 decades. Patrick is always there for SpongeBob. He's there through thick and thin. You know, the intelligence might not be there, but he is always by his side, no matter what. Pinhead Larry and Dirty Dan, through and through. You go ahead with yours, and then I'll get back to it.
Well, Joe, this is what I'm excited about because I know that I have picked the best animated sidekick of all time. And, you know, this particular voice he's voiced some great sidekicks in other films as well. And there's a lot of animated sidekicks that we could have picked. I could have picked Jimmy the Cricket. I mean, what a great sidekick that is, you know.
Let's go.
I could have picked Mushu, whatever his name is, the dragon from Mulan. But I picked Eddie Murphy's other character. The greatest sidekick of all time. I'm talking about Donkey from Shrek. Good gracious. Donkey go ahead, Joe. Give your argument, and then I'll give mine. I'll just sit back. I'll be quiet like this for you. Okay, go ahead. Let's hear why Patrick is the best, and then I'll tell you why Donkey's so much better.
So, anyways, I thought you told me you had a different one, so you changed it up on me there.
I picked Donkey from the beginning. I never told you what mine was because I knew it was so good. What did you think I had?
No, yeah, it's not that it's that good. I just thought that you had a different one.
Which one did I had?
What now?
What did you think I had? What did you think I picked?
We're going to stick with this one to keep this video short. Anyways, that being said here, Patrick Star has been with SpongeBob through thick and thin. They've been in Bikini Bottom, running around, best friends forever. He's over there leaning under a rock when SpongeBob's house is gone. He gives him a place to stay. Patrick's there at the Krusty Krab every day, giving them business. Always there for SpongeBob to go jellyfishing. They know how to defend themselves against sea bears. Patrick knows that mayonnaise is not an instrument. I'm just doing all these references for all my SpongeBob fans out there. With that being said, Patrick's been here for over 2 decades, longer than Donkey's been there for Shrek, just saying. And I'll just let the audience decide on that one. You go ahead with Donkey. Let's keep it under 10 minutes.
Let me tell you why Donkey's the best sidekick of all time. Okay, again, it goes back to what is a sidekick? A sidekick complements the main.
You don't have to define it every question for these people.
And it's a foil to them. In other words, they're different. So they're complete opposite. You got Shrek, who's the hard-nosed, uptight guy, and he meets Donkey. And Donkey, man, he is loving. I mean, he didn't judge Shrek because of his ugly ogre face, Joe. Kind of like us, I don't judge you because of your ogre face. I accept you for who you are. I'm sorry, Joe. I love you. And Donkey. So what does Donkey do? Not only see SpongeBob and Patrick. Patrick's a good one. Okay, let's don't get wrong. But they kind of the one and the same. And when SpongeBob really wants to get something done, he has to go to another character. He has to bring in Sandy, or he has to bring in the neighbor, whatever his name is, Squidward, and or he has to go to Mr. Crab. Okay, but Shrek, all he ever needs, and he didn't even know he needed him, was Donkey. Donkey is like the onion that Shrek needed. He was full of layers, and he brought the comedic touch to that film that it needed. Shrek is beloved. Okay, yes, SpongeBob's been going on for years, and it's got some great episodes, and it's fun to watch. But man, you throw on Shrek, and not only are kids gonna like it, but the adults love it too because there's such humor and hidden jokes in there for adults that are come through who? Donkey, the greatest sidekick of all time. The greatest. Donkey.
Y'all let us know, folks. Is it going to be Patrick Star from SpongeBob, or is it going to be Donkey from Shrek? On to question 3, Corey. I believe you go first on this one.
Okay, Joe. This one is the Mac Daddy question. This is what is the greatest live-action superhero? And there's lots of them. Goose.
Barney Fife.
Yeah, Barney Fife. That would be a good one, but that's not a movie. But that is a great one. That is great.
We said a character.
Okay, we said a character. Anyway, Barney Fife. I actually thought about Barney Fife.
Barney Fife is a great one.
Barney Fife, I actually thought about, but because he weren't in a movie, I went with somebody else. But Barney Fife is, yes, again, him and Andy, they work perfect together. A lot of great. Maybe we should have done TV. Maybe we'll do another episode whenever we do the best TV sidekick, and we'll do. Well, I don't know. We both picked Barney Fife on that one. I mean, I guess you could pick the Fonz, but anyway, my pick for this is the greatest sidekick of all time, and that's Ron Weasley from the Harry Potter series. Now, let me tell you why Ron. Well, I'll give you a little bit of why Ron's the best. Because Ron was with Harry from the beginning of Hogwarts until they defeated Voldemort in the end. Spoiler alert. And even when they were at odds with each other, he never left Harry's side. Now go ahead, Joe. Give us yours. And then I'll give you some more argument.
Hold on. I've got to say something to your last point. He never left Harry's side. He literally left Harry's side when he thought that Harry was trying to cheat on Hermione with him. So, I mean...
No, I said even when he was okay. I'll get back to that in a minute. Well, no, you brought it up.
You literally contradicted yourself. You literally contradicted
They
yourself.
were mad at each other. I said even when they were at odds with each other, even when they weren't talking to each other, who was it that told whoever it was, Neville Longbottom or whatever, of what Harry to tell Harry because he
That's
wouldn't
right.
tell himself because he loved him that much, but he still had to
Okay,
tell.
get your story together, and we'll come back to it.
I'm
It's
saying
okay.
I get characters mixed up, but even when he was mad at him, he went and told Neville or whoever, "Hey, go tell Harry this is what's going to happen." Because they weren't talking, but he still loved him enough and cared about him enough and was such a good sidekick. It'd be kind of like me, Joe, going, I get mad at you, but I care for you enough that I call up one of your buddies and say, "Hey, tell Joe and he's got some food in his teeth on this video, and he needs to get it. But we know we're not talking. But see, that's what I would do, Joe, because that's how good and much I care for you. Even when we're mad at each other, because I beat you so bad in the moonwalking thing, I can still put that aside to take care of you. But anyway, go ahead and give him your answer. Your second.
We've already went too much into this. We're gonna have to talk about this. I'm sorry. So you just were talking all about that. Ron,
Yeah. Are you not
what?
going to tell me who you're voting, who your sidekick is?
No, because I have to rebut what you just said because it's just not true. Ron also put on a sticker that said Potter stinks. He left Harry's side more than once. He was always jealous of Harry.
Was mad at Harry, but he never left his side when it mattered. When Harry really got in a pickle, Joe, have you ever had friends? What happens? Do you always get along with your friends? No, you have these moments where you don't agree on something. You argue. Maybe you got a friend that pulls for Duke. You don't talk to that friend during when Carolina's playing Duke. You leave those friends alone for a couple of days. But after it's all said and done and the season's over and the dust settles, you're going to be there for him when you need him. And even though Ron was mad at Harry, and he never stopped caring about Harry, and he was there when Harry needed him the most. Ron was there.
Ron is a great choice, Corey, but at the same time, you can't discount it. It wasn't just one sidekick to Harry. They were a trio. You're discounting Hermione totally. They complement each other to it. You can't.
Hermione was good. When you get ready to talk about one that had four other ones with him.
Oh, no. There's a big difference, sir. There's a big difference, and we're going to it right now. But discrediting Hermione's contribution and her intelligence through getting them through the whole series, it was a trio of them. Hermione was just as great a sidekick as Ron was, so I don't know how you're just giving it to Ron, but that's okay.
All right, go ahead, give him yours.
Mine would be Samwise Gamgee from Lord of the Rings. That would be through 3 movies and or 3 books, either one. Some of the greatest work of our time that movies, including Harry Potter, are still taking notes from would be J.R.R. Tolkien. But let me tell you why Sam is the greatest sidekick. And let me tell you why it's not the same dynamic as Ron and Hermione to the 4 hobbits that embarked on the Fellowship. Because, yes, they all did start out together, but Sam was the first one who was eavesdropping, decided to go with Frodo. He was always the first one to stand up to defend Mr. Frodo. Then, as the movies progress, the whole Fellowship fractures by the end of the first book. And who are the 2 that are left together for 2 other books or 2 other movies? It's Frodo and Samwise Gamgee. Okay? And this man literally pulls him up a mountain, gives him food when he's starving, stays by his side even when Frodo's mind is poisoned by the ring and Smeagol and Gollum. He stays by his side through the thick and thin. Then they cross Mordor, and Frodo, finally, his strength fails. This man says, I'm keeping the ring for myself. It has corrupted him utterly and totally. And Sam is there to make sure that that doesn't happen. He gets him up the side of the mountain. He gets him up there. Without Sam, all of Middle-earth is lost. Samwise Gamgee is the real hero of Lord of the Rings, just as much as Frodo is and the rest of the characters. But Sam is the ultimate sidekick for that reason.
That's an impressive geek out right there that you just went through, I must say. I fell asleep during some of those Lord of the Rings movies, to be honest with you. And I can't remember them that well. But I do remember Sam. He was a good sidekick, but I can't, I couldn't, if you were to put up a line, that's the one that was in 50 First Dates, right?
It is the same actor, sir.
Yes, okay. I was just making sure. Okay, I'm being serious there. Okay, I thought that's what it was. Just making sure. But yes, I mean, if you like Lord of the Rings and you can follow that and you watch them 8-hour movies, I'm sure Sam's a great choice. But we know this,
It won
Joe.
almost 30 Academy Awards through the three movies. How many did the Harry Potter series win? Over seven. Over
How was
eight.
Moonlight? How was Moonlight?
How was Moonlight?
It won the Academy Award for Best Picture. The point is, Academy Awards don't mean crap, Joe. It's a bunch of Hollywood leftist elitists.
I
This
think
just
I think you're hurting yourself here. There was no politics going on in Lord of the Rings.
you don't think there's politics going on in Hollywood forever and ever and ever and ever?
Look, don't try and draw that out. Do you have
The
anything
point
else to say about your pick, sir, Ronald?
What I'm saying is that the point is it won Academy Award. That Suicide Squad won an Academy Award.
20. I think if I'm misquoting it here, but it might. I think it was 29 Academy Awards.
Harry Potter. Not only is it the greatest books of all time and movies, which took from the Bible. Okay, the Lord is our shepherd; I shall not want. And you know who carries us up that mountain, Joe? The Lord. That's David and the Lord. That's where he stole that from. You stole it from the Bible. Okay, so therefore, I don't want to hear about it. They stole it and used it. All I'm asking is,
let me get this straight. You're saying J.R.R. Tolkien stole his plot points from the Bible?
I'm saying he was influenced from the Bible, just like J.K. Rowling was influenced by Tolkien.
Okay, I was about to say, don't you say the Bible for her because she takes offense to that.
Yeah, well, she does exactly. So see, she's the devil, but we can't help that.
I didn't say she's the devil.
Well,
I just said she takes offense to those comparisons.
And you know, another thing, there's probably some of you out there that weren't able to watch Harry Potter because certain people told you to go to hell if you watch it when they lied to you. Okay, I watched Harry Potter and I'm going to heaven, Lord willing. There's nothing wrong with Harry Potter. It's make believe. It ain't no different than Star Wars or Lord of the Rings. It's all fantasy. I don't understand what the big deal is. Anyway, I don't know why I got on that kick. The point is,
I don't know either.
Ron Weasley was there for Harry when Harry needed him. Ron Weasley was not only there for Harry. Ron Weasley was smart. Okay, now he was portrayed a lot of times as the dumb one, and Hermione was the smart one. Okay, but who was it in the Sorcerer's Stone who won the game of chess? A strategy game. Joe, you play chess, Joe?
I do play chess.
I play chess too. It's a hard game to play. It's a strategy game. You can't just pick. It's not like checkers. Anybody can pick up checkers in a minute. You got to know chess. And Ron Weasley won that game of chess for him. Ron Weasley overcame his greatest fear and destroyed a Horcrux, okay? Even when he was being attacked, okay? Ron Weasley not only was Harry's best friend and his confidant and his partner and his sidekick, but he's also a great lover. Ask for mine. And that counts for something. You got to have a good wingman, okay? And in fact, he was such a good man. I just came to me. He was such a good sidekick for Harry that he let Harry date his sister. Now, you know you got to love a man, Joe, and you got to be there for a man to let that man date your sister. True or false?
I don't have a sister, so I wouldn't know.
I don't have a sister either, but I'm assuming that that's the way it would be. Okay? You don't let anybody date your sister. All right? And that is what Ron did. Ron was brave. Ron did have
I'm glad you've had your chance to explain, and I don't need to say much else other than Samwise Gamgee's exploits speak for themselves. I don't think it's a hard choice between the two, not discrediting Ron, but I think that it is a severe slap in the face and a little misogynistic that you just totally discredited Hermione in the trio, but that's fine.
Oh, sorry. Joe, you had 4 sidekicks for Frodo. Not to mention Gandalf, who was the real one that helped him out all alone, okay? All right. Weren't for Gandalf.
Corey, said you fell asleep. Go back and watch them because they weren't a part of any of what you're talking about for the last 2 books or movies. They were by themselves.
In the last movie, it was them by themselves. Ron was with him the whole time. Now Hermione was there some, but in the first movie, you remember
She was there the whole time too. What are you talking about?
hang out with Hermione. They made her cry in the bathroom. Okay, they weren't even friends in the first movie. Okay, she was crying in there when that troll came and they came and saved her life. That's how they became friends. Okay.
We can debate franchises another time.
Oh, so you admit that Harry Potter's better?
We can debate franchises. I don't know how that's admitting to anything. I love how you twist the words back around on me.
I heard him say that Harry Potter was better, which makes Ron Weasley the better choice. Folks, what do you think?
Yes, please watch all this and let's hear what you have to say about Corey afterwards.
Hey, we did have a good time though. We always like to cut up both great choices. I actually really like the Lord of the Rings movie, but I had to play it up a little bit for Joe to for our arguments. I will say that the Hobbits did not help the Lord of the Rings movies. I think they hurt them a lot. Okay, people have a bad taste in their mouth because of the Hobbit movies. All right. Anyway, so I think I'm going to win this one.
Samwise and Frodo aren't even a part of that, so I don't know why you bring that up.
And Donkey, you may win the Falcon. Okay. But I don't know that because if I can get
I'm going to win, Pat. Your only chance is animated because that third one, that's just not happening.
Joe, I think you are confused by which one is more popular, okay? Because what you don't realize, Joe, is that yes, even if Sam was the better sidekick, he's not as popular as Ron Weasley.
So you admit that you picked the popular picks, not the actual better quality picks. That's cool.
Joe, what I admit to you is, I admit I pick winners.
I admit it is too late. You need to cut this video and go do some soul searching.
What I'm telling you, Joe, is I pick winners. Now listen, our next video, I let my wife and her friend, I won't mention her name at this present time. Shout out Shelly, how you doing? And her other friend, Paige, they coming up with our questions, okay? Joe, we're doing a women's questions for us, and I already know two of them, I think. I know one of them is Backstreet Boys versus NSYNC.
Mm-hmm.
I can't remember what the other two are.
That's fine. You go figure it out. We definitely need to do a women's saga after you just totally ignored Hermione through this whole thing.
I have not ignored. See, here's the thing, Joe. Why Hermione's not a sidekick to me. She is a.
No. That's the video.
She's just as important as that. Go vote. Hey, go vote. Joe, hey, don't let him degrade. See, why she got to be a sidekick just because she's a woman? Why didn't I think of that a while ago? See, she's not a sidekick. She's just another character in there. It's like the Guardians. It's like Quill and Raccoon. They're not sidekicks. They're all buddies.
Or you're embarrassing yourself.
Ron is a sidekick. All right, Joe. Tell people goodbye. Tell them to make sure they like and subscribe.
Goodbye, y'all. I hope you watch this whole thing and then go cancel Corey afterwards.
They ain't gonna cancel me, okay? They voting for me. I'm gonna win this one again, just like I won the moon one.